Do you know the reason why your tiger nut milk drink spoils or curdles up faster? Are you also sure you know the best way to make this tastiest milk drink that you can enjoy alone or pair with your cereal if you have high lactose intolerant? All these and more are the teas I'm going to be spilling on this particular video. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kelsy. Today is all about tiger nut milk drink, so make sure you watch this video to the very end. Do not skip any part, and please hit the subscribe button as you continue because you're gonna love it here. So for this recipe, I'm going to be making use of 4 delicas of dried tiger nuts. I'm going to be attaching a picture of what a delica of measurement looks like. For tiger nuts, there are always 2 variants available, this dried one and the fresh one. So it depends on the one you can find in your area. If you happen to lay your hand on the fresh variant, I'm going to be leaving a link on the description box so that you can check out how to process this milk drink using the fresh tiger nut. So as we proceed, make sure you take your time to pick out any unwanted object in this. You're going to be surprised that you see a lot of dirt, stones, stick, whatever. Please take your time to do that, because when processing tiger nuts, we do not need to boil anything. So you need to make sure that absolute hygiene is maintained. Can you see what I picked out from mine? So you need to be very careful. Let's proceed to the next stage. The next stage will be to wash this thoroughly. Like, we need to wash this until the water runs very clear. I washed this up to 7 times, but I had to do some parts behind the scenes. So please take your time and wash, because the number of dirt you can find on tiger nut, especially the dried ones, can be quite alarming. So you seriously need to make sure that you devote your time in washing. A lot of people use mortar and pestle, but I don't do that. Just take your time and wash very well. You need to keep changing the water until you're very sure you can see that the water is running clear. You see, this particular stage, it is very essential, because that is the major reason why a lot of people will end up with food poisoning, diarrhea, and some other health issues after consuming tiger nuts, because obviously you didn't keep a lot of things clean. From the tools you'll be using, like your bowls, the water, the environment, make sure that everywhere is sparkling clean. Trust me, when you maintain absolute hygiene when processing this milk drink, you're going to enjoy it. And even if you're doing it for commercial purpose, people are going to keep coming back to patronize you. In fact, I think that this is part of the reasons why a lot of people like making this at the comfort of their home, to make sure that they can be able to control the hygiene part of it. Yes, and it is not even so difficult to process. So we are done washing, as you can see. So the next thing is to soak this up, because it is dried tiger nuts. I'm going to soak this up for 48 hours. Yes, so I'll cover and set aside. Make sure that you pour enough water that will help you to soak it. Okay, so the next stage will be to process our dates, and in here I have 1 delica of dates. So I'm just going to wash it thoroughly until the water runs clear, like we did with the tiger nuts. Then I will soak it up. So for the date, I'm going to soak it up for a period of 24 hours, while the tiger nut will sit in for a period of 48 hours. So after 24 hours, I will deseed the date and keep it in the freezer. So the next day, making it 48 hours, the tiger nut will be ready. So what I did different is that I also washed and changed water at intervals for the tiger nut. So make sure you do that. Okay. So the next stage will be to show you the rest of our ingredients, and in here we have 2 big coconuts. Remember that this is not going to be processed today. It's going to be 48 hours when the tiger nut will be ready. And we also have some ginger. So we're going to just set these aside until 48 hours. So 2 days later, our tiger nut is ready. As you can see, it doubled in sizes. This is more like a freshly bought tiger nut. So I also figured out that the dried ones are just the sun-dried version of the fresh ones. Can you see how everything is looking sparkling? clean because I made sure that while it was sitting for 48 hours, I changed the water from time to time. I also washed it very well. So I'm just going to sieve out the water and get everything ready to be blended. So let's take a look at how our date is looking. Remember, this was soaked for 24 hours. By that time, it was already very soft. I had to use my knife and the seed and set it aside in the freezer so that it will still be very fresh on the set for the 8 hours. Okay, so you can see everything is looking so fine. I just brought it out of the freezer and defrosted it, and this is a coconut. So I've been able to crack up the shell, wash thoroughly, and diced it into this smaller bits so that it's going to be very easier for me to blend. And this is our ginger. So I just scraped off the back, then diced and washed it thoroughly. So the next stage is to make sure that we have our ice ready because we're going to be needing it during our blending processes and also during sieving. So this is a kind of ice I'm going to be using. Is a sachet water ice. I will put it back in the freezer and bring it out when I need it. I'll also make sure that my cheesecloth or chiffon cloth is also ready, washed thoroughly. I will set that aside. Then I'll proceed with the blending process. So I'm going to be making use of my blender. If you do not have a very strong capacity of blender, make sure you go to a nearest local market near you and request for them to blend this for you. Okay, so if your blender cannot carry it, please do not even try it because it's going to mess up your blender. So but I have a very strong blender, so I'm going to add everything, add water and blend. So the blending process will be batch by batch. I think I blended for 4 times, yes. So, and while I do that, I will set up my pot or whatever deep bowl you have available. So I will put my colander, which is also called seed, and add each of the blending part into it. This is just to enable me to sift it for the very first time before going in with my cheesecloth. Just watch as I do it, okay? So all the blending processes will be done with normal room temperature water. If you have a cold water, that will be fine, but I don't make use of cold water. So what I just added is a sachet of ice cube. The reason why I added the ice cube inside the milk is to make sure that it doesn't go bad at all. Yes, because it needs to stay very cold. Once this milk is exposed to heat, it's going to ferment and go bad, and we do not want that at all. Okay, so make sure you add enough ice cubes, but the one I just added is okay. And the reason why I'm making use of a sachet ice cube is because I wouldn't want the ice cubes to melt inside my milk, so that I can be able to control the consistency of my milk. Can you see how I'm adding little water to this to wash down everything? Yes, I'm just going to do this to rinse out everything, and keep watching because you're going to see how I'll squeeze out more milk from this chaff. I hope you're still watching this video up to this very moment, because I so much believe that you're going to enjoy this video, and I cannot wait for you to try out this recipe. Please come back and tell me how you enjoyed it. Come back and tell me, ask me your questions, okay? And if you are still watching this video up to this very moment, it means that you've been enjoying this recipe. Can you click on the subscribe button in front of you? It is quite free. They're not going to charge you for anything. Just click on the subscribe button so that you can see a lot more content coming from this channel. Thank you so much. And this is the chaff we got. We're not going to call it chaff yet because we're still going to squeeze out some milk from this. So I'm going to set this aside. Let's continue. So the next stage is our final stage, and this is the starting of our filtration process. I'll be doing this stage 1 filtration. That is what I call it, stage 1, because I'm going to be making use of this sieve. All these are just to make sure that we do not have any particles in the milk, okay? This stage requires little patience, so make sure you take your time and do as I am doing. If you do not have this particular sieve, I don't know, I think you can just go straight and make use of your chiffon cloth. But this is very, very important. The sieve is not expensive at all, so let's continue. So I'm done with that stage of straining, and this right here is the final stage of filtering this, and this is my chiffon cloth. So I'm just going to make use of this and filter it for the very last time. Please make sure that once your ice cubes is melted, add more ice cubes to this. That is why I'm making use of the sachet one, so that I can control how thick or how watery this gets. You can imagine that I'm adding an ice cube like this without it being inside sachet, and it must have melted inside my milk, and before you know it, it's already adding volume to this. So I'll be making use of sachet ice cubes all through. So once I feel like it has defrosted much, I will just add another one, because I was very much ready for this day. So I had so much ice cubes in my freezer. So watch and do as I'm doing. I'm gonna strain this and we are done. I hope you're enjoying this video. I hope you're enjoying this recipe. Please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment if you're confused, if you have any question to ask. But make sure you watch to the end before you ask, because some of you will not even watch the video to the very end. You start asking questions that we already explained in the video. So please make sure that before you ask your questions, you have watched this video from the very start to the ending. Let's keep going. So as we are done straining this part, we're going to keep this aside because that is completely perfect. So we'll move on to the chaff. We need to squeeze out all the whole milk we have on this chaff, okay? So while we continue, I will need us to discuss the importance of tiger nut milk. Number one, tiger nut milk drink will be your best natural milk drink that can be enjoyed alone, or you can pair it with your cereals if you have high lactose intolerance or you just want to go natural. this is very good. Secondly, it is very high in fiber, which helps to improve digestions and regulate bowel movement, so no more constipation. Thirdly, this milk drink is very good for nursing mothers, as it helps very well for lactating. Then the fourth one is that it is also very good in weight loss. Then last but not the least, this milk drink is very essential for the other room activities. Will it be fair enough to say that you should not take this drink if you know you're not married? Those who know this drink understand the magic it performs in the other room. So I don't know whether it should be banned for single people, or what do you think? Because it helps greatly for men and women when it comes to boosting your sexual desires. If you're married and you've used this milk drink before and it worked greatly for you in the other room, please leave a comment for us and tell us how you used it. But trust me when I say that it is very good. Jokes apart, it is very nice, both for men and women. Finally guys, we are done, and this is the volume we have. As you can see, I love the consistency. It is actually in between. It is not too thick, it is not too watery. This is the consistency I love, because by the time you start putting it in the freezer, it's still going to thicken up a little bit. So this is the time to bottle this up. A lot of people used to ask me, oh Kelsy, how do you bottle your milk drinks up? Just watch me as I bottle this up. It is very easy, and some of these bottles can be gotten from any packaging store close to you, in your local market, superstores. Just ask people of packaging containers, okay, for zobo, for milk drinks. They are very much available and very cheap. And before you bottle this, make sure that you wash the bottles properly. Please, if possible, wash with warm water and salt. So I'm just gonna package this, and I'll be telling you how to preserve this milk drink for a very long period of time so that it doesn't get curdled up or spoiled. Number one factor is to make sure that where you live, you have constant power supply. If you do not have a constant power supply, there will be no need making tiger nut milk drink, because once it's exposed to heat, it's going to go bad. There is no magic to it. And also make sure that your freezer is already active before storing your tiger nut milk drink inside, meaning that you've already turned on your freezer for about 6 to 7 hours, so that by the time you're done making your tiger nut milk, you're already having a well chilled and cold freezer. And make sure that you do not store this in your fridge. Deep freezer, that is where you should store this. And do not add too much of coconut, because coconut contains saturated fat that makes it very easier for this product to get curdled up. Then last but not the least, you can also get food grade preservatives at the market. People that sells cake items sells food grade preservatives. Just tell them that you need a preservative for tiger nut or any kind of milk drink, and they're going to give you, and you add to it. It's also going to extend its life shelf. But the most important thing is power supply. Make sure that you guys are always having constant power, or you can get ice cubes at stores that sells ice cubes and add inside your freezer, please. And that will be all. If you have any other question, if you're confused on anything, make sure you drop on the comment section and I'll gladly answer you. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you on the next one. Bye.